Hello, baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl. Hello, my treacherous friends. Hello, operator. The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Talking about the show anyway. Just start recording. Let's just tell them everything.
It's okay. Welcome to the show. We're a mess. We don't know how to record. Thanks for joining us, though.
We're honest, so yeah. We're honest about how big of a piece of shit our show is.
Thank you for joining the worst show on the net.
Are you? You just start recording, Jay. Let's do your whatever your organic opening crap.
It was, but now the organic opening has you saying you should start recording 5 times.
Oh, God. Well, whatever. I don't understand how organic openings work. I'm not good at this stuff. So basically, how the relationship used to work is I would say abracadabra, and Jay would make sure the podcast got up there and everything would work perfectly. And I've kept up my abracadabra part, but Jay now no longer can get the show working.
Yeah, it pretty much sums it up.
Now, Jay, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
And Mark, this might rub you the wrong way, but as the person who does most of the technical work for the show,
I think I know where this is going.
are there ever moments where you resent Mark for not doing much of that stuff?
And Jay, can I quote Jay here? I'm going to paraphrase, or maybe a direct quote. All moments.
My favorite part is when the show goes long and we record late at night, and then I have the nerve to actually fall asleep and not do all the editing and put it up that night. And then I get emails all day. Where's the episode? What the hell? Are you trying to manage the downloads by staggering the episodes?
Well, in fairness, that's what Jay does. Jay will sometimes be like, no, I want to post the episode on Thursday instead of today because I want to balance out the downloads because we'll get an extra download.
Well, no. You see, we do a show every 2.5, sometimes 3 weeks.
Years. 2.5 years.
And then we did 2 episodes 3 days apart. So I said, let's space that out because who knows when the next episode's going to be. And then I get harassed by Mark for the next 5 days. He wants to put 2 right back on top of each other.
In fairness, at least one fan of the show is like, where's the episode? Like Steven or someone else was like, where's the episode?
The day after we post an episode. They just messing with us.
I'm just like, we recorded an episode. Put it up. Who cares? Let's put it up.
We should be like Robin, just do an annual episode from now on.
That's where I don't even know if I'm at that point right now.
What happened anyway? Oh, I guess this has been an organic opening. Welcome to the Brink of Sanity. 300th episode. We decided we were debating what special thing to do for the last 50 episodes, and we decided on nothing.
By the way, you'll know it's an organic episode because I'll be asking Jay, is this an organic opening at least 7 times while we're doing it?
So I'm Jay, with me is Mark, and we have Rob Briscoe from the Uncanny X-Cast.
Hello.
Or is it just Rob Briscoe now?
It's probably just Rob Briscoe at this point. I think I'm unaffiliated.
So you're like Dwayne Johnson, because it was first The Rock, Dwayne Johnson in movies, and it was Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and then they eventually just dropped The Rock, and now it's just Dwayne Johnson.
I mean, as far as the naming convention goes, yeah, but the career trajectory in podcasting seems to be trending downward.
What happened to the show? Why don't you tell us?
I don't know. When I heard him say 300, my jaw kind of dropped on that.
I know. I started crying for all the time I've wasted. Go on, Jay.
I think we literally just got to the point where it was just exhausting. It just felt, and that's why I asked Jay that question a minute ago. It just felt so much like a job. I mean, I like popping on and doing it every once in a while, but even that I drag my feet on at this point.
How many episodes?
You do so much post-production and work on it.
I'm
literally just going to hit convert to MP3 and that'll be it.
You should try throwing up on the audience. If you're like, this is an episode, whatever we recorded, here you go.
Even scheduling recording now. Do you guys have kids? I know, Jay, you don't have kids, right?
No, Mark has 2 now though.
How old are they?
6 and 4.
Oh yeah,
almost 7. Yeah.
This is going to get harder and harder for you, and you guys are doing bi-weekly. That's tough.
Well, we're also doing our other show weekly. We have our Nick show that we do every week too.
I didn't realize you did that together. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's even brutaler.
We waste a lot of time. How many kids do you have, Rob?
I have two, but they're 10 and 8, so they're like fully entrenched in all the stuff.
Yeah, so like right now, my kids still, in theory, go to bed at 8 o'clock, and
Yep.
probably on the nights we do the show, we always record at 8:30 because I can't. If the kids are awake, the show is not happening. There's just no like. My wife will freaking kill me if I try to do a show while we're trying to like, get the kids to bed. And the kids, forget what she does. The kids will just come in here and they'll hop on here. They'll just like, they have no interest in what I want to do. So
That was one of our biggest problems, that as our kids started pushing to like 8:30 and 9 o'clock bedtimes, the additional problem of Brian being Eastern time meant that I couldn't start recording until 9, and he's at 10 o'clock, and he's like, there's no fucking way.
wait, you're not in New York?
Oh, God, no. I wish.
God, no. Where are you?
I'm in Alabama.
Oh,
That makes more sense now, doesn't it?
that makes more. But wait, isn't Alabama the same time zone?
Nope, Central.
Alabama's Central?
Right
Ah.
down the Georgia line.
Oh, because I went to school in Atlanta at Emory, and we're right next door, so I figured it was just assumed it was the same time zone.
No, we're off it. But that really did, like, we were having the kids come in, and it was pushing things back. And like, my wife, like yours, does not like us to start while they're still awake, because then she's in charge of everything. And that was definitely one of the biggest problems.
Yeah, no, my wife's like, it's your dumb hobby. Like, you want to do it, just the kids are asleep, okay? I totally understand. That makes perfect sense. Like,
It's been great for me.
Jay, get some goddamn kids, okay? I don't know what to tell you. Understand our problems.
Working on it.
You're not actually working on it. You're doing a podcast with that. If you were working on it, you would be having sex with your girlfriend right now.
Yeah, that's what you do. You just have sex 24 hours a day.
Well, that's what working on it means. What else is working on it? What else would working on it be? Like, working on it, like, if I'm working on building a boat, I'm building a boat.
I mean, I
Working on-
suggested that, but that plan was
You suggested to your girlfriend to build a boat?
no. She's
Why don't we build a boat? What do you goddamn Noah? What the hell are you talking about?
Pallets of wood in the living room, just waiting on you.
I'm telling you, the rain's not going to stop. The rain stopped already. You didn't look outside. Oh, shit. God damn it. I thought it was going to be 40 days and 40 nights. Yeah, once the kids get older, Jay, I have no idea how we're going to do the show when the kids stay up later.
You'll just have to move into a bigger house so you can put them in like the West Wing.
I'm basically screwed when the kids get old. I don't know what I'm going to do when the kids get older, but like my son's pushing it. He's about to turn 7.
Well, I mean, nobody listens to this show, and the Knicks suck, so we could just quit, I guess.
You just say we slowly end the show without telling people, and
That's
no one
what Rob
asks.
did. He went from like monthly to bi-monthly to like twice a year.
I mean, eventually we'll have to do a 9 o'clock start. I don't know, Jack. You're not going to like that,
Yeah,
but we probably have another season at most. I don't know. I guess my son. What time do your kids go to sleep, Rob?
Now, my son about 9:30, my daughter like 8:30.
Yeah, that's Right now, we still convince. My son complains about the 8 o'clock bedtime a lot, and usually, if I'm not doing a podcast, it'll probably be closer to 8:30. But then I'm like, get to sleep. I have to do something I'm not going to tell you about.
And he doesn't really fall asleep at 8:30, right? You put him in the room at that time.
No, actually, our kids still get closer. It's closer if we do it right. They're in bed by 8, and by like 8:15, 8:20, they're asleep.
Oh man, maybe you won't have a problem. You're lucky.
Yeah, no, they fight. I mean, there's some nights my daughter, who's 4, fights us on it more than our son. I mean, they are pretty tired by that point in the day. Like, your kids are not. Like 8 and 10 is a big difference in age, also.
Yeah, my son's always been a night owl too, and he's just stubborn. So like he knows he's old enough now that he knows if I'm recording, that coming in and fucking with me is funny. Like it's he thinks that's a good time. So I have that against me too.
My son comes to me with arguments like he's like, all the other kids get to stay up till 9. I'm like, which kids? The other kids. I'm like, name them. I'll call their parents.
Bring them over.
He's like, no. Anything he tells me, I'm like, I'll call their parents. He's like, he still doesn't understand that I won't call their parents. I'll just be like, whatever. I also actually, the amazing thing with my son is that, I mean, he doesn't listen to us and whatever. I don't know if your kids listen to you, but my son does not. But like, if he's being really bad, the trump card with us, and I really probably shouldn't say trump card with our current country we live in, but the trump card, if I say we're going to call his teacher, I'll be like, we're gonna tell your teacher about this behavior, and he'll be like, no, really, no, don't tell her. Like he'll freak out if he thinks we're really gonna do it. And I'm like, which I can't even imagine that conversation of it like, we can't like, Mrs. McMahon, my son hit my daughter. She'd be like, why are you calling me? Shut the hell up! I'm retiring. Leave me alone.
Are you worried about the legacy you're leaving for them in these podcasts? Like they're gonna listen eventually.
I also have I did like the first 2 years of my son's life, I did like a baby blog about him. I just thought it'd be fun to record stuff, to write stuff about him. And now that like I never really knew what to do with that. Now it's just out there on the internet. One day my son's gonna look up me making all these like weird jokes about his first year and a half of his life, including describing like some rocket poop incident he had when he was like two weeks old.
No, my favorite part is going to be when your daughter is like, "Where's my blog, Daddy?"
That is true. I also have my Capital One lets you put whatever picture you want in the credit card. I have a picture of my son when he was 1.5. I thought it was a really cute picture. Oh, my daughter has yet to say, why am I not on your credit card?
Yeah, that's cool.
Which I could just fix that, but like it's all these things. When they when they figure out we have a podcast and start listening to it and be like, okay, there's my scarlet letter. I'm gonna wear this awful.
Daddy, why do you bring up pedophiles every episode?
Which Jay claims I do, and I just think the pedophilia, not obviously pedophiles are weird. We all know that, but it's just like a weird. You know, people will say things like, and Jay's got me on the topic. People will say like,
here we go. Buckle up, Rob.
He's attracted to 6-year-olds. They're like, I don't get that. And you're like, of course you don't get that. Why would you get that? You're not going to be like, yeah, I'm attracted to 6-year-old, but I don't act on it. I mean, I get where he's coming from. Obviously you don't get it. It's a total deranged mindset, and you're just born like that. Some people are born with they're missing a finger or missing an arm. You're born liking kids. What the fuck? Or maybe something happens to you, some kind of abuse happens to you, and subconsciously you become attracted to kids, but you don't make an active choice. It's like, Rob, what would you rather have? Would you rather lose a foot or be attracted to kids?
Oh, I'm gonna go. I was trying my best to sit this one completely out, but I'm gonna go and lose a foot.
Yeah. You'd much rather lose. What about lose your wheelchair for the rest of your life? Oh, by the way, you don't have to act on being attracted to kids.
Okay.
You'll just be the same way you're into. I assume you're straight, Rob. You have kids.
Yeah.
The same way you're into women. That's how you be into kids. Or you could be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. What do you choose?
Right. Just for the record, I'm a pretty honest podcaster, but you can't believe there's anyone in this experiment who's ever going to answer, I'll be attracted to kids. We can do this for 4 hours, and we're probably never going to get to that point.
We can move on then. Jay has said I've crossed this line too often with this. I just think it's just a bizarre, like basic disability you have where you're like, I'm attracted to. That would be such a nightmare.
Yeah, we get it.
Okay.
We get it.
Yeah.
We don't have to do this like would you rather like every third episode.
Rob, I have a question for you. So let me ask you, your wife. She white? She's what's her race?
She is white.
Okay. If you worked at a job and I don't know what you do for a living, you don't have to tell me, but you work at a job and you're surrounded by a lot of female Asian women.
Okay.
Do you think you'd immediately become super attracted to Asian women and no longer attracted to white women?
No. You're
no longer.
You're twisting.
Like
you're twisting the story.
Jay, I feel like this might be about you.
It is, but it's totally twisted the way you said it. I had a job where there was a lot of Asian women there, and I worked there for years.
Yeah.
And
Jay acts like he was in prison with them for like man, I was in there. I was stuck in that prison with all Asian women for like 30 years, and that's why he claims prior to this he didn't find Asian women at all attractive, but after this experience made him attracted to them, and he's yet to tell his girlfriend that's why he's with her.
it's called it's called the familiarity principle. Look it up. It's a thing.
How far does this extend? Would you trade Porzingis to get Jeremy Lin back?
No. But Olivia Munn, yes.
That's fair.
Yeah. So Rob, you have a boy and a girl. I don't know why I assume that. What you have two boys, girls?
Did we just lose Rob?
Doesn't sound like we lost Rob. I don't think
I muted while I was drinking alcohol with ice in it. Sorry.
Oh.
I have a
Oh,
He's a
girl.
Boy
Jingle
and a girl.
away. We're very unprofessional here. Don't worry.
So
Black and white.
did your daughter at any point do dance?
Yes. Yep. About
So-
2 years.
Okay. So today, my daughter's been doing dance for about 2 years in this local place. She's 4 years old. She was part of this. She had a recital today. The recital was at the high school. We got there at 1:00. We did not leave till 5:00.
Yeah.
It
Horrible.
was-
Yeah.
Oh my God! And they're like, you have to sit. They break up when your daughter goes twice, and there's also like they come out at the end, but they break up when your daughter goes enough that they want you to
Of
be
course.
there the whole time.
Yep.
And you're
It's
there.
horrible.
You're watching just like act after act of different set of girls of different ages doing some dance to some song. My son is sitting there losing his mind. Like he'd be like, "How many more to go?" My wife's like, "17 more acts to go." Are you kidding me? She's dead honest. I'm like, and I'm just like, no, next was the last one. He's like, really? I'm like, no, we got 17 more to go. Well, your mom's right. This is horrible.
So then what level of awful parent are you, myself being very high on the awful side, where that experience for us the second time was enough to be like, I could tell you're not really into dance. You feel about like where you just start shifting them into more manageable hobbies.
Holy, I mean, I guess it's only this one time. Like last year, the recital was in the classroom. It was very cute. And I mean, she was 3 last year, and they're 4. They can't do much at this age. And she had like a really cute outfit and all that. But like, I was like, and the whole production, this teacher put on this huge production with this thing. And I'm like, oh, it's kind of cool. She sticks with it and don't have to sit. But like, this thing was so long. I felt like I was in like some like TV show about being a suburban dad. It was just like, it was like every cliche. I'm like, holy shit, we're never getting out of here. There was an intermission. I'm like, intermission? There's a second fucking half?
Or sometimes they pull the move where there's like a big group number at the end, so you have to stick around so that your kid can be one of 800 people on stage.
You know what? Yeah, no, they had a group number at the end. Like our daughter got a trophy, so you can't like, and you can't even get your daughter before the end.
Yeah.
And also, you have to pay to go. And I understand this thing costs a little money to put on, but you were paying money for the class. It was $25 a person for like. I'm like, what the fuck? Like the whole thing, the whole place is jam packed. We couldn't even get tickets near. Like we're sitting 30 rows back because that's the best tickets we could get because everything sells out so fast.
And you got to pay for the costume, right?
Yeah, pay for the costume, sure. Yeah. But yeah, Jay, have a girl.
Sounds great.
I feel like have no kids might be the takeaway from this. Jay.
Jay's the smartest one.
You live in New York. Stay. Have a good time.
It's definitely It was cute. I feel like I'm like I mean like we'll just see. I kind of agree with you, Rob, but at the same time, I was like, whatever she wants to do, we'll just.
I know. I mean, I obviously would too, but we definitely, if she's on the fence between two things, we're gonna nudge for the better.
Yeah. Someone else was telling me how their kid, like there was an older person, like how their kid was into ice skating and ended up playing a little bit of hockey, and the hockey practice were at 5 a.m. But eventually, he basically played his whole like high school career, and he ended up going to college on a hockey scholarship. But like every morning at 5 a.m. they had to drive him to practice. And I was like, and my son's actually into ice skating. I'm like, he's not playing ice hockey. There's no way I'm doing this 5 a.m. crap.
Yeah.
So what's going on, guys?
Well, we talked about worst superhero powers before on the show. I found an article about real people who have the worst superhero powers. So okay. I thought it'd be fun to go through those.
Sure.
So this one guy, he has super hearing, but it's inward. So he hears everything he's like deaf from external sounds, but he hears everything inside his body. Like he can hear his eyes moving around in his head.
Oh God!
Wait, this is real?
This is real. It's called superior canal dehiscence syndrome. And so he can hear like the blood coursing through his veins. He could hear his eyes moving. Like,
oh my God!
Yeah, I think that would drive you insane in like 15 minutes.
How old is this guy?
He was in his 50s. It
Oh.
it just happened. It just started happening.
Oh, it wasn't
Oh!
his life? That's worse.
Yeah.
I was wondering how you communicate this because I figure like if he's if he's
Yeah.
young, like you probably the ability to talk kind of doesn't develop that well. And wow, so like how did it happen? Did they have like a reason? Like he was like playing with his ears too much and like he flipped them?
He flipped.
Like, maybe the Q-tip has a warning now. If you stick the Q-tip in too far, your hearing will reverse. What's that mean? Oh fuck!
Yeah,
You
it's
think
something where like some cord in your ear canal gets like twisted and it like reverses your eardrum.
By the way, so the rest of this list, including this one, when you say real life superheroes, you mean disabled people.
Kind of.
We have this other guy who's a real superhero. He gets to ride around in a chair all the time with wheels.
Yeah, none of these are feel-good stories.
There's another guy. His superhero power is being able to park close to the supermarket in special spots.
What's the thing you'd be most curious to know if there's a sound for? Like, is there a boner sound?
Boing!
Is there like an ejaculation sound? Yeah, like what?
Guys, it really sounds like boinga.
It's like a cannon going off.
Well, they have like 100% soundproof rooms that you can go into and you could hear all these things.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
You could-
they have like 100% soundproof rooms.
Who's they?
Like recording studios and stuff.
Okay.
There's like super soundproof recording studios, and you could hear like the blood going through your veins and stuff.
So if you're in a soundproof room, you're suddenly have super hearing?
His is probably still stronger, I would think.
Yeah,
If he's hearing inward.
Most soundproof rooms aren't that soundproofed. I'm talking like 3 stories of cushioning between each floor.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying like let's say you're in a completely soundproof room. Suddenly your blood going through your veins gets louder, so you could hear it. Then I was just assuming you still won't be able to hear your innards.
Well, I think all the other noises are just cancel all that stuff out. Like if you're in a house and you think it's really quiet, it's still like 30 decibels. Like even if it's silent in your house.
Of just like room tone.
Yeah.
So like it's like almost like a horror movie. You're like you go in there, you're like the soundproof room. And you're like, guys, I hear a river. That's your blood going through your veins.
Ugh.
Yeah, I kind of want to experience that for about a minute and a half and then get the hell out of that room.
Imagine just like all the mouth noises you hear, just like saliva swinging around. Like your ears are so close. It's got to be just the worst.
Yeah,
That guy will kill himself in the next 2 years.
I have to say, if I'm ever going to kill myself, it's while listening to my own voice, like from the show or something. And if you add in me be able to hear my innards, then like I'm definitely going to kill myself. That'll be just my suicide note will be my could hear inside and outside. Fuck it.
All right, but now we're getting somewhere. Would you rather be that guy or a pedophile?
Oh,
See, we're narrowing the gap.
yeah, no, this is not bad. So either I hear my voice all day and my blood going through my veins all day, or I like boys.
It's closer.
It's a tough one. It's a closer one. It's a closer. Okay. By the end of the show, we'll see.
List to go. Yeah, we'll
get the line.
Maybe if we combine all these superpowers I'm about to list, we'll push Mark over the edge.
By the way, where are you reading this horrific list of like superpowers, Jay?
Cracked.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I love Cracked.
Have you, Rob? Have you been on Cracked?
On the website, sure. And my wife she was obsessed with their podcast for a long time. She's like in love with the guy. I don't even remember his name.
I've listened to the podcast. It's a little hit or miss depending if you like the topic. But
I don't love it. But there was a guy named Jack on it. I don't know if he's still on there, but she thinks he's the greatest.
Oh, but this show, it is like a site where you go on the site, you start reading. For those that don't know, they have a lot of top 5 lists of things, but like really interesting things. And you'll go on a list and start reading it, and then be like, they'll see a link to another list, and you see a link to another list, and like 7 hours pass. You're just like in a cracked hole.
Do they do any more of like the Did you get Cracked magazine when you were a kid? Like the shitty Mad magazine?
I don't. No, yes.
Yeah,
got
I had a few issues of that.
Have they
Yeah.
just completely separated from that world?
I
Totally
think so.
different, yeah.
Oddly enough, Mad Magazine is still around.
I just saw one for the first time in like 2 years yesterday in a supermarket.
Yeah,
They had
and
like a
it's like
entertainment
$8 or
issue.
$9.
Yeah, it's like fancy. It's almost like a
$8 or-
graphic novel. Yeah.
Wait, $8 or $9 for a Mad magazine?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can read a parody called Game of Groans.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much. You probably nailed the title. Of like,
No, that was the real cover of it. I'm not even joking.
I used to get the magazine when I was a kid, and I thought it was funny, but like, that's really still popular.
No, I don't
I
think it's
doubt it. No.
I mean,
I was tempted. I had the same thing. I was tempted to get it because I was like, oh, my son should see a Mad magazine once in his life. And then I looked and I saw the price. I was like, there's this. I'm not. No. Can't even fold the cover on this thing.
there's still a bunch of 80s ones in my dad's basement. I mean, they were funny. It's just, I'm not paying $9 for one.
I mean, I guess they're. I guess they probably have to find some way to compete. So if you make it like we're going graphic novel, people fall for the word graphic novel.
I don't think it's that. I just think like they lost 95% of their audience, so they have to make up the money.
Well,
somehow.
yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying that people are actually paying $9, or else it's not. Why would it be in the store?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about
Next.
this other. Tell me what else you got there.
Okay, the next guy. This is probably the lamest of them all. No.
Wait, lamer than I could hear my eyes move.
Well, at least that's interesting. This
Okay.
kind of stupid. No fingerprints. The finger pads are completely flat.
So you just you touched the stove with all your fingers.
Right. So you can go on jewel heists, I guess.
Was he born this way, or is it like did he like touch the stove or like burn them off?
No, this was a born this way one.
Okay.
Does that stove thing work?
I don't think so.
Does what?
If you just
Like if you
your
burn them off, do your fingerprints grow back in?
Oh, let's try on the next episode. For the episode 300, we're gonna burn off Jay's fingerprints and see what happens.
This one sounded great until I read the second half of the article. This guy.
Wait, the fingerprint what? The fingerprint one sounded great.
No. The next one. We're
okay.
moving on. The fingerprint one sucks.
Okay.
The next one. This guy never slept and never felt tired for 9 straight months.
Never slept?
Nor
I
did
thought
he
you-
experience memory loss, mood disturbances, or anxiety.
Wait, but then it went away?
Well,
You said 9 months.
Well, this
He
is
died?
this is where I was like, I'm in. And then, yes.
Were the 9 months?
Oh,
while
did he really die?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
he died.
I was gonna say, Jay, was the 9 months while he was in the womb? Was he an unborn fetus?
Oh, no. The second part of the article said, all right, he didn't sleep, didn't have any effects for 9 straight months, except once a night he would experience a 20 to 60 minute episode of audio, visual, and olfactory hallucinations.
Okay, yeah, I'm listening. You might have me with this one.
That still doesn't sound that bad. I mean, 23 hours a day, you're up and you're awake.
I'm gonna say that 60 minutes is pretty fucking long.
Yeah. But yeah, then he died. So, I thought it sounded pretty cool being able to not sleep ever because it's a waste of time. But apparently,
I don't know. I don't want all those hours.
Yeah, what if they eliminated? Let's just say they some science. I mean, they can invent the iPhone. They can invent anything. They invent like some pill you take, and you sleep for 10 minutes, and you're good. Like it's an 8-hour sleep. What would you do with the rest of the time? Hey, let's just say it's prevalent. Everyone does this, so it's not like everyone knows you have all this extra time. It's not like you have these 6-7 hours that no one else has. Everyone now is awake for 23 hours and 50 minutes a day.
Like immediately, every job is going to push us to like 16-hour
That's
days.
exactly what I was thinking. Immediately, your life gets so much fucking worse.
I also my family's out of town today, so I had the whole day free with no one in the house, which happens like once a millennium. And like by 11 o'clock in the morning, I didn't know what the fuck to do with myself. I had played like every game I felt like playing. Then I'm just like looking at the clock. I'm like, when are we recording? It's 8 hours from now. Jesus Christ.
I find especially with kids because when you have kids, your days are so packed with shit because you have to do stuff all day with them, or else they'll drive you insane. And then when they're not there, like they're gone for the day, you're like, what the fuck do I do with myself?
Yeah. You're done in like 3 hours. You have no idea what's left.
I don't
like,
know. I have a still in the box PlayStation 4 with 9 games stacked on top of it.
Oh my god.
I would be able to figure it out.
Wait, are you done with? You're done with school though, right?
No, well, I'm done with grad school.
Oh my god, are you going back again?
No, he's going. Oh, hang on. So Jay is in a process of just continually trying to make his life worse. Like he had a job, and he's like, I'll go to grad school while I'm working. That'll make life really bad. Then he finishes grad school, and he's like, I'm done. Let me see if I can find something that makes life even worse than going to grad school while you work. Jay, you want to tell more about it?
Yeah, so that's when the CPA studying started.
Oh.
Which is way, way, way worse than grad school.
Is it really?
Yeah.
My wife did that, and I remember she said it was a nightmare.
Did she? How many times did it take her to pass?
I might not want to answer that question before I know what the situation here is. She passed the first time.
All 4 parts?
Yeah, I don't remember her retaking any.
Wow. Okay. I'm on trial.
She did it
9.
I think she may have done it twice because the first time out of college, I don't know if she passed them all, but I think she lapsed and had to do a bunch over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you don't pass all 4 within like 18 months, then they expire and you got to start retaking them. It's fun.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So Jay's been torturing himself with that.
That sounds miserable.
And now he's going to try. So Jay told me the other day he's on a diet that I kind of want to talk about in the show. He's on the ketogenic diet. You're doing that?
Yeah, I started that on Monday.
So I'm like, what's the ketogenic diet? He's like, you don't eat sugar or carbs. You just eat fat all day, but no sugar and no carbs. I'm like, what the fuck would you do that to yourself? What are you training for? Like, you're just going to make yourself like extra miserable? I'm going to study all time. I'm going to go to work, then study all day, then have no sugar and no carbs, and just feel like shit.
Well, I mean, I lost 6 pounds in 6 days.
How do you feel?
I want to die.
Why, like Jay? Why do you join ISIS? Make yourself like like how much worse do you want to make your life?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
not eating sugar. Like, there's so little. Like, how many joys do you get in life? Like, you know what? Like, when I have some chocolate, I like it. When I have some candy, I like it. When I have carbs, I enjoy it. You can still eat. Why are you taking the joy of eating from your life?
Because, all right, my clothes were getting tighter, and I came home from work in one of the few work pants that fit, and I sat down on the couch and split them.
Oh.
And I was like, that's it. I'm not eating anymore.
All right, but wait, you're in like a situation of I'm losing weight. Are we in like a health situation here, or are we in like a I got to lose a few pounds to fit my clothes?
By the way, before you answer that, Joe Rogan had a podcast. The guy that was really big into this. I just when you told me that, I just started listening to this podcast from Joe Rogan, where he had his guest on who was really big into the ketogenic diet also. But Jay split his pants. This guy ran ultra marathons, 100-mile races, and that's why he did it. So Jay, you guys have a lot in common. The 100-mile runner. This guy was like had to perfect fuel so he could run for 10 straight fucking hours. I'm thinking, I'm like, why the fuck's Jay doing it? He's not running fucking 10 hours.
I mean, I got fat, but not like, danger zone fat. It was.
How about you just buy bigger pants and enjoy fucking life? You're like, now I can't enjoy eating anymore.
Well, that doesn't seem like a good solution.
All right, Mark, keto diet or pedophile?
Am I gonna wait? Do I have to listen to
You sound more passionate about this than the hearing guy.
Oh man, I was listening to this diet. Like, I was listening to this guy talk about this diet. I'm like, what the fuck would I? I'm like, I'm not trying to train for an ultra marathon. Why would I do this to myself? Why just go on a normal diet?
The sugar isn't even the hard part. It's the carbs. Carbs are in
That's
everything.
what killed me.
Everything.
And they say like when you first cut out the carbs, you feel like shit for a couple of weeks until like your body adjusts. And you're basically what your body's adjusting to is some state where your body feels like it's starving itself to death, and that's why it's burning the fat. And if you do it too much, you get in some state called keto something or other where you basically die.
No.
Ketosis, like that, which is something you have to be.
ketosis.
You have to be careful about that. You're doing a diet that one of the side effects is death.
Mm.
If you're not careful.
And carbs are the best.
Yeah, they're awesome. You don't
They're
eat pizza
so
anymore.
good.
I realized that I could go weeks at a time eating nothing but carbs.
That's how I am. Like, it's the one I couldn't make it.
Like I can have like pasta and then
They're amazing.
Yeah.
Rob, you have 2 kids. Do your kids subsist on carbs? I think
More or less.
80% of all my kids eat are carbs.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy because I know you shouldn't. Now I know you shouldn't be eating carbs all the time, but they fucking love carbs.
They're so damn good.
They're awesome.
Wait, so are you completely off of them? Like no pasta, or do you have like I can eat pasta Sunday?
I'm doing this for 2 weeks. So
All right,
I
that's
just made
manageable.
it through. This is day 7, so I'm halfway done.
What's the next thing you're gonna do to make your life miserable? Are you gonna like just slice your Achilles heels just to see how it feels?
Well, according to you, it'll be buying a house.
Oh my God. Yes. Rob, do you own a house?
I do. I'm in Alabama, so yeah.
Yeah. That also makes a big difference. Also, no offense to Alabama, we're in New York.
That's exactly why I said that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in New York and I own a house. But there's something that I have and you have that Jay does not have. Jay does not have kids.
Right.
Why the fuck would you buy a house if you don't have kids? Rob, is your house? I don't need to know how much your house is, but is your house a bit of a money pit? Is things always like you have to always fix this and fix that?
Sure.
That's what a house is. It's always a giant headache, which you do that because you want space because you have kids. If you're Jay, you do that to have the giant headache because you don't have kids because I don't know, you need to keep make your life a little bit worse to make the show better.
Well, but in his defense, there's the investment side of it as well, where even though you're doing that, you're not just giving the money to somebody else.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's the theory. You're not paying rent, but you are paying rent because now every time there's a repair, you have to pay it yourself. You still have to pay real estate taxes. And it's not
I'm not saying it's great. I'm just saying there's a little something in there.
I think the New York Times has this buy versus rent calculator
where it takes smart.
It takes 5 or 6 years at minimum for your purchase of real estate to actually be worth better than renting.
Jay, where would you have to bail out to? Like you're not getting a house right where you are.
No, I'm looking at Westchester.
You don't think Jay's buying a multi-million-dollar house in the middle of New York City?
I just had a feeling the answer was no.
Jay's like, I'm buying a $40 million condo in right in Manhattan. You didn't know that?
Yeah, I'm looking at Westchester.
Okay.
So
that's got to be expensive too, right?
Certain areas, like there's nice areas and there's bad areas, and if you get a place like on the borderline, you could pay the taxes for the bad area, but still have it be a decent neighborhood.
So remember when you said investment? Jay's going to invest in a shitty neighborhood in Westchester and hope that works out.
You think any shitty neighborhood anywhere within an hour of Manhattan is going to stay bad? Like the bad neighborhoods get eaten up every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Harlem, which is right near Manhattan, that keeps getting better and better.
Harlem's been pushed.
Oh, Harlem actually Bronx, the Bronx. Spanish, the Bronx is not getting necessarily better. You're right about Harlem. Harlem's actually been getting better.
Yeah.
That actually supported your argument, not counter to your argument.
Yeah. Just bare minimum, make sure you move next door to a gay couple. You'll be fine.
That is actually probably what you should take out.
Yeah.
But you, Jay, you want to do this because you just don't like your neighbor. You don't like having neighbors.
Correct.
Is that a good enough reason to buy a house?
Are you doing this with your girlfriend?
Yeah.
Is this like a joint? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes it a little better.
I mean, you haven't spent 9 years with noisy people on.
I couldn't do it.
Side.
No, I couldn't do it.
So I would, if we didn't have kids, I would just still live in New York City. There's no question about it. I would be fine with. But I had never had really bad neighbors either. So, and I've never had like a. Jay also lives with black mold. It's one of his roommates. It's like his girlfriend and black mold, and they can't get rid of the black mold for some reason.
Yeah, that's kind of an issue too.
Do you have to eat the black mold for the ketogenic diet?
I know what we've said on the show a bunch, but Cliff Notes version for Rob: black mold in the bathroom, coming from upstairs. The upstairs neighbor is crazy and won't let the landlord renovate the bathroom. and so he
jeez.
can't like gut renovate ours because it'll just come right back.
Like Jay has like a shitty situation in the sense like, and these other neighbors play music too loud, and they're all assholes around him.
That sounds terrible. Yeah, and you don't want to live with black mold for a long time, I don't think.
No.
But Jay, probably all the symptoms have probably already set in on Jay. He can't sleep, and he's probably already unhealthy from the black
The
mold.
symptoms are probably weight gain, failing CPA tests, and anxiety attacks.
You're like you're reading the symptoms. You're like, wait, not be able to play audio on a podcast? What the fuck? How's that a symptom?
Oh, and cancer.
Yeah.
But Jay, why don't you try living in a different apartment? Something like just move and see how it goes to the next neighbor.
Because
you buy
I
a
moved
house.
in here 9 years ago, and the apartments are like double. I would have to pay twice as much to downgrade, and if I'm paying twice as much, I can get a house.
Okay, well, we'll see how that goes for future episodes of the show. So you have more on the superheroes?
Yeah. This woman can smell Parkinson's disease.
What the fuck?
What the hell? Does it describe what it smells like?
No.
So one guy could hear Parkinson's disease from the inside. The other person could smell it.
It's just moving around.
So her husband got Parkinson's disease, and then she could recognize his smell. But then she realized she smelled her husband one day when she was out, and she looked up and it wasn't her husband, and it was somebody else with Parkinson's. And then she realized that she could smell Parkinson's on people.
Oh.
She's like a drug dog.
Yeah, they did a test, and she has 100% accurate track record.
Oh my god, that's
So people
creepy.
just come in to see, like the doctor will see you. She's like, okay, you're good. I'm sorry, what? I smelled you. You don't have Parkinson's.
So they
My
tested
insurance
her.
pays for this shit.
They tested her. She got 11 out of 12 right. And then 8 months later, they found out the 12th person was misdiagnosed and actually did have Parkinson's.
Oh my god.
Okay, so this is the first one I think is a good superhero power because her smelling is probably a better test or like a less expensive test than whatever they actually do. So she should be able to make money off
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, little sign in the door, $200. Do you have Parkinson's?
Yeah, like nothing else. Like the guy being like, "Hey, you want to hear what it sounds like when I snap my knuckles from the inside?" No, we don't. Hey, I got no fingerprints. Who the fuck cares? This one I like. This one, it's got to be weird when she smells you. Also, you're like, she's smelling you. You're like, I haven't showered in a few days. Maybe it's that. No, you got Parkinson's. No. I haven't showered. Fuck.
Yeah, it says Parkinson's, they now know has a smell. It joins the ranks of diabetes, which smells sweet, liver dysfunction, which smells musty, and severe diarrhea, which smells like severe diarrhea.
So this is going to be a whole new like. This is going to be a like just the worst Avengers movie ever with these characters. Hurry! Let's go to an old folks' home and smell everyone.
Thanos killed everybody else, so this is what they got now.
Oh man, what's the last? Is this the last superhero power?
Yeah, the last one is a woman who has no fear.
Oh,
So-
she doesn't have the part of the brain that like was it in the I forget what part of the brain is fear. The amygdala, whatever.
Yes, I don't know how to pronounce it. Amygdala.
Is there a superhero power where you can just pronounce everything that you read? Because I can't. I want that superhero power. But yeah, so that part works. So she just doesn't get scared of anything.
Right. Yeah, so she apparently like an attacker put a knife to her throat, and she just stared him down, and it freaked out the attacker, and he just like took off.
I would want to hear more about her life. Like, did they explain other things? Because I'm wondering how it's benefited or hurt her. I mean, obviously that.
Yeah, there's a lot of give and take on that one. Like for every good one, there's probably just as many bad ones.
Well, it says that she's now she's not afraid of internal threats. Also, like inhaling and choking on carbon dioxide. So she doesn't get the warning triggers for like things that could actually
Oh.
So there's your downside.
Okay, but she's not like scared of a bear because she's like,
she should have went on that show Fear Factor.
Okay. Okay, we're just gonna cut out your liver. Okay, sounds good. Fuck, you win. Just take the prize. I'm trying to think of what else it would. It'd be kind of like if she's not scared of things, with things that are like ordinary. They're like, oh, what is she not scared of? Like a bear? No, she went into her boss's office the other day and asked for a raise. Just like,
Yeah,
what the hell of it.
that's the kind of side I was thinking of. Like, she probably gets laid all the time because, I mean, what's the worst? She's not worried about getting rejected. Just go up to everybody.
Not
Yeah,
worried
I mean, I
about
figured
getting the herpes either.
guys can call me
Also,
a whore.
that, yeah, sure. Not worried about being pregnant. Yeah, does she worry about like when her bills come in? Is she like, oh, I got to pay this, or is it like, eh?
That's my superpower, having an anxiety attack over complete minutia.
You know, I lived next door to this guy for years, but I never knew his name. So one day I just asked him because it wasn't awkward for me because I wasn't scared.
But he had a panic attack.
Yeah. So Jay, you need to you should need to find this woman and find out why don't you just cut out your amygdala or whatever. Get that cut out so you don't have panic attacks anymore.
Sounds like a great idea.
It's,
I'll work
Yeah.
on it. You guys want to do some questions?
well, I first want to talk about our long national nightmare is over.
What's that?
I know this was a big concern. It was announced very recently, and it's great for all women out there. Miss America has scrapped the swimsuit portion of its pageant.
That's going to be great for ratings.
What the fuck? What the fuck's the point of the pageant if they're not like the entire purpose of the pageant is staring at women and deciding who looks better? That's the pageant. Just don't have the pageant if you don't want to do the swimsuit.
Did they replace it with anything?
Yeah, they're naked actually.
Oh, well, actually.
I think they're like extra evening gown. Like they still have them in evening gowns, so it's still like we're still comparing you with just like less skin exposed.
You could still be a doll, just not a near naked doll.
Yeah, you could give all the cleavage you want as long as you're not perfectly in a swimsuit. It's the dumbest thing ever. It's like that's it's what it is. It is a pageant about comparing beauty. If you don't like that, just don't like it. It's fine, but don't pretend it's anything else.
Why has the porn industry not taken on this challenge?
That's a great question.
The Miss America.
Well, like, what if they just decided to do their own, except the categories were like blowjobs and like just go all in on it? It's a better show, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah. I just don't think it's gonna be on ABC.
But I mean, who's really watching besides the parents of those people? It's probably just horny men watching, but they can't be watching that anymore either, right? You're just going on Pornhub. You're not.
Well, I think last year had like the worst ratings ever. So yeah, I don't think anybody's really watching.
I just don't understand who the audience for that version is.
Well, it's like a
Housewives? They don't.
It'd be like Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated doesn't want to like they take out swimsuits from the swimsuit issue. They're just like, oh, we're just going to have women talking about swimming. Well, Rob, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
If she grows up and wants to be like in beauty pageants, how would you react?
That would be one of the hard nudges away.
That would be like a low moment in parenting for me. I'd be like, shit,
Yeah.
I done it. Like my daughter just doesn't have the values here are just fucking terrible.
I just find that world pretty creepy.
And your daughter like makes the argument to you, but Daddy, they don't have swimsuits. It's about really getting to know the women. They asked me what my view is on the crisis in Syria. So, well, take that, Daddy.
Did you guys ever see that Mr. Show skit with the fetus beauty pageant?
No.
No, that sounds amazing. though.
The doctor had like a long wand with makeup, and he'd like put it up there and put makeup on the fetus, and it was all like trailer trash submitting their babies. That was great.
Wait, the last thing, as opposed to the real competitions, which are all trailer trash submitting their babies.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, like that show tiaras and
Yep.
I mean, just like put everyone in prison right now. Just like I don't want to see what comes with this.
I know some people who shot on that show, and they said it was terrifying and gross.
Isn't it mostly just the parents pushing the kids?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's not like your kid is like, hey, now that I'm potty trained, I want to be in a pageant.
No, but I do think the kids, for all the wrong reasons, get into it. I mean, they're getting like full-on obsessive attention from their parents, and everyone else is telling them how beautiful they are. Like, it's not hard to see a kid falling for it, but the parents are fucking disturbing.
I do hate when you hear the parents being like, well, she's really into it.
Yeah,
no,
sure.
she's into your fucking love. Why don't you give her love in some other way, you asshole?
Yep.
Well, I mean, kids, I mean, you guys would probably know better than me, but aren't kids into whatever you tell them? Like, if you...
No.
I'd say
like video games are
75-80%, yes.
If you said video games are awesome, your kid's going to be a gamer.
Yeah, they're more prone.
If you're big into football, the kid's going to like football.
You have some persuasive ability, but they get into stuff you kind of have to just kind of be into what they're into too. Like it's a little like give and take. Mm-hmm. But yeah, if you raised a kid and said beauty pageants are the most amazing thing, they would be into that. Yeah,
right. It's a little bit what's in their world. You very rarely have a kid just go like, oh, you know what? I want to be a bocce ball player. Like, you'd have to know somebody with a bocce ball court or talk about it a lot.
Right. Like my son just comes to me. He's like, "Dad, I want to train for Australian rules football." How the fuck do you even know about that?
That's weird. That's the 20% for sure.
Yeah,
totally do that.
Yeah. So the swimsuit thing, I can't look at this. It's just like the dumbest possible thing. And of course, this will like any person watching the show. This will like eliminate the rest of the ratings. I hope this ends the show completely.
Oh, it'll be canceled after. This will be the final one, definitely.
Wait, but to go back to that same point again, why? Like, who is the person? I mean, not like I don't like seeing ladies in bikinis, but like I'm not fucking tuning into that show for that. Who is that targeting?
Who's rubbing it out while they're watching the show on like
that's
CNN?
what I mean. Like, is it 80-year-old men that just don't know there's other things out there? Are housewives actually interested in this and like commenting on it? Like, is it a Bachelor type scenario?
Maybe it's just like cucked husbands who like can only watch what their wife approves of, and she's like into like the evening gown section. So like he's like, well, you know, I can't go.
My mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. This is what I get.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
Heard.
Could you imagine you told some older person, you're like, why the fuck are you doing that? Why don't you just jack off stuff online? And he's like, online?
Yeah.
There's porn online. Holy fuck! What am I doing with myself?
Guy's divorced 3 days later.
But yeah, you're right. I don't really know. I guess it's like, I bet do you think they draw more female viewers or more male viewers?
That's a good question. I bet it's more female at this point.
I kind of do too.
But I feel like even the females want to see, I guess, in some level, want to see the women in like.
I think
bikinis.
I think it's almost turning into the spelling bee, where people tune in for the questions because a lot of times they just say stupid shit.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but actually, the spelling bee, they changed it also. Now the kids don't only have to spell things phonetically. They got rid of regular spelling. They're matching the bikini this contest.
That was a joke, right?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Okay.
You know what? On a different topic, I know we get the questions in a second.
Can't all be winners.
Yeah. So someone said this to me last night, and it just like hit me as like a kind of a crazy thing. So they were like, so George Washington, when he died, apparently 5 years later was the first discovery of dinosaur bones. And I was just thinking about, forget the George Washington part of it. Can you imagine being alive when they first discovered there were dinosaurs? Like if that just happened today, like
that's
people are
wild.
digging,
yeah.
Like how they're like, hey, you know how we thought like there was only man? There used to be giant reptiles that roamed the earth. I'm gonna go fake news on that one. I think you're full of shit. Like it would be Alex Jones would be like public, like going like there were reptile people. Alex Jones, you're really out there. What the fuck are you talking about? Like there can't be reptile people. Like how do you get people? How long does it take people to buy into there being dinosaurs?
Are you saying that Alex Jones has been right about everything all along?
Oh yeah. He's fucking Jesus Christ.
Pretty clear.
It's pretty clear he's a soothsayer.
All right. What's worse is that we live in an age where a person will put out a tweet about a discovery that's supposed to be like insanely amazing, and like the best we're gonna get at this fucking point is it's a different kind of shrimp that's a teeny bit longer.
Yeah. Here's
like space is the only place that's exciting anymore. They're not finding anything here that's gonna fucking blow us away, right?
So let's just say dinosaurs were just discovered. What would you sooner believe? Would you sooner believe the people in the Sandy Hook school kids were crisis actors, or that giant lizards existed and roamed the earth.
Hmm.
I feel like the crisis actor thing would even be like, or 9/11 being all the conspiracies would make more sense to me. The giant lizards roamed, like that just seems so far fetched.
Well, I was listening to Joe Rogan the other day, and he was saying that there's evidence that there were like 10-foot, like almost like humanoids walking the earth at the same time as men, and he said there's proof of it, and they have fossils and stuff. Basically, like Bigfoot was real. So
Neanderthals were real. I mean, Neanderthals and man, like or sapiens, roamed the same time, and I think Neanderthals were much bigger than sapiens.
but I feel like that's not really.
Or you think he's saying that like much bigger than we're like.
Yeah, I'm talking like 10, 12 feet.
That's
like,
pretty tall.
Like gigantic, like almost giants. So, I mean, he thinks that that's a fact, but I feel like that's not really established. So that would be a kind of mind-blowing thing.
That would be mind-blowing. Joe Rogan also had Alex Jones on there, and during the Alex Jones episode, you kind of thought Joe Rogan was kind of fucking crazy too.
Yeah, I feel like I need a little better source.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really talk about that anywhere. I don't know if that really happened. I mean, maybe there was like taller humans. I don't know.
Yeah,
Was that like widely known, or just like Alex Jones said it?
No, Joe Rogan said it, but
I mean Joe Rogan, not Alex Jones. I mean Joe Rogan. I mean Joe Rogan. I'm sure like maybe there's some. I'm just surprised I've never really heard that.
Yeah, I don't know. He had Steven Tyler on. He's like, I used to believe in all these conspiracies, and
this just got way more scientific.
Renowned historian and lead singer of.
But he's like, I used to believe in all these conspiracies, and then I realized a lot of them are fake. By the way, and then he starts going into how the Bigfoot's real, and they used to walk the earth with us. I'm like,
What is Steven Tyler's reaction to this?
Did I ever tell you when I was on an archaeological dig in Madagascar, and I thought of the song "Dream On"?
Steven Tyler went up to him. He was talking about how water has memories, and I don't know. It got real weird real quick.
Water has memories?
Yeah. Because it never goes away. Like, it evaporates, but then it goes into the air, but then it condenses again, and then it's liquid.
Was there a spoiler at the end that they were on a lot of LSD?
Yeah, it got a little out there.
Yeah. That's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what episode was it? Whatever. I guess
it was like 11, 16 or something. It was like 5 episodes ago.
Okay. I guess I also don't know if I really want to hear this. But anyway, yeah,
it was like 10 minutes of it. The rest of it was talking about doing coke and writing songs for Aerosmith, which is fun.
That's pretty cool. He's a good interviewer. He's obviously a really good interviewer. I just can't imagine being alive and being like, there were giant dinosaurs, and you're like, how long do you think it took people to believe that? Do you think people were like, giant dinosaurs? Okay, you found a bone. Sounds right.
Well, I mean, these are the same people that
believed in witches.
Actually, these are like 100 years before the people who believed in witches, right?
Yeah.
So these people are like borderline retarded.
You're way before like snake oil salesmen and stuff. That it probably got very little traction.
I mean, the fact that we're still using the documents that these people wrote when they like are 5 years ahead of like, I don't know what happens to the sun when it goes down at night.
Sun goes
maybe we should reread some of the shit they wrote,
Sun goes disappearing. You guys want to work on that Second Amendment now?
You guys want to do some questions?
Yeah, we can do questions.
All right. Lorenzo writes, hey guys, congrats on the 300th show. It's one of the best things on the internet, right behind porn and videos of guys shaving their hairy toes. No, really, it's a great podcast.
By the way, Rob, would you shave your toe hairs?
I'm probably thinking no.
You wouldn't be into that? That wouldn't be something you'd just start doing and be like, I can't stop doing that?
No.
Meet Jay.
I don't shave them. I pluck them out with tweezers.
Oh no!
Oh shit! So you don't shave them? You'd
rather have the pain of. How hairy are your toes?
They're not very hairy.
Jay only likes to know pain in life. He's like, I could shave this off. I could use a scissor, I'm gonna poke it out because that's how my life should go.
I had an ex who was obsessed with doing that, and then I just kept the habit going after we broke up for 20 years.
Wait, she was plucking the toes?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bad start.
And Jay's like, I'm no longer having sex for getting my toes plucked, but I'm still doing it.
I've noticed, are you a pretty hairy guy in general?
Yeah.
So I am too, and I've noticed that the more effort I put into grooming said hair, like it's like sort of meant to be there. Like the more that I do to control it, the worse things seem to get.
Jay, do you have like a toe forest?
No, but I noticed like the back of my neck, like the.
Oh, that's my trouble spot for sure.
I mean, I almost have like. It seems like all the hair went from the top of my head to like it's just running down my back now. It's absolutely disgusting.
I could probably shave my neck every day if possible.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't know what happened. At some point in the last 10 years, the hair went from the top of my head to the back of my neck, and it's growing like a forest. It's no good. Getting old is fun. It's really good.
I always have that moment when I get my hair cut where they take the towel off and they get to that point where they're gonna deal with that area.
Mm-hmm.
And you could tell they have that feeling of like, fuck, I was so close to being done. Like, just added a couple minutes to their life.
And then they're like, how far down the neck do I have to go?
And there's no good answer.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, I would love a line right here instead of right here. This is going to be great.
Do you lower your shirt, like do reverse cleavage and be like, get the back?
That's the thing. Yeah, like they try and do it, but you can tell they don't want to do that either. I mean, it's bad.
Well, last time I got a haircut, he actually waxed my ears and trimmed my eyebrows. And
waxed your ears?
Yeah.
I do get the eyebrow pretty regularly.
I do the eyebrow every time, but what do you mean he waxed your ears?
Thing sounds terrifying.
He put wax on a Q-tip and like stuck it in my ear and then pulled it out.
Holy shit! That hurt?
I have never seen that at a barber.
I'd never seen that before either. But then I was like, yeah, I'm officially in old man mode now.
Are you going to like a frou-frou place or like a barber?
No, like a barber, like hole in the wall.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Did he use the wax on your balls too?
No, I told him to do my toenails though. My toes.
Okay.
Lorenzo writes. Hi guys.
I have a question. I got a question for you. Do you when you go to the barber and they do in the back of your neck, do they do the razor or do they do the electric razor?
The electric.
Yeah.
So I go to a place that like they like to do the razor where they put like and I'm like, I just do the electric. I don't need to be here for an extra half hour. So you could like pretend this is like a nice experience for me.
Well, you probably go to rich people barbers.
I go to a normal barber, but like it's just like you don't believe anything. Yeah,
I've never been to a hole in the wall barber place that uses the straight razor. You gotta go to fancy places for that.
I feel like it's the old school thing to do for just the back of the neck to do. I've been to others that do it also, where they do for the back of the neck, where they do the straight razor because it's like an old school, not your whole face, but just the back of the neck. Which I also feel like the whole time I'm like, he's gonna probably fucking murder me.
Lorenzo writes, let's say you guys are in a shopping mall watching the world go by. There is a normal 12-year-old kid sitting on a bench. A retarded 3-year-old kid is hobbling by that bench, and completely unprovoked, the older kid kicks his leg out and flattens the retarded kid to the floor. What are your thoughts? Please answer before proceeding.
So wait, are our thoughts after we stop laughing?
Well, I'm surprised he asked thoughts instead of actions.
Yeah,
because he's like I hear
he knows we're not gonna. Yeah, exactly.
My thoughts are someone should do something about that. I gotta go.
The problem is you can't like yell at other people's kids anymore. Like that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not cool. Like back in the 80s, you could be like, "Knock that off, you little shit," and like
you'd be a worse person than the kid who pushed the kid.
Yeah,
I feel like I've been in situations where like you want to discipline someone else's kid because the kid's being an asshole, but you're like, yeah, I can't discipline someone else's kid, or else that person will be like, how dare you tell my kid not to beat up a retarded kid?
Yeah,
you stand a better chance of screaming something racist at someone in a mall than yelling at someone's kid.
I'm just saying, the kid obviously is disabled, retarded, and he just started kicking him. Yeah, he likes to do that. Okay, what the fuck? Get your own fucking kids.
Okay, so now at a different time, there's a 12-year-old retard in a wheelchair. This time, a normal 3-year-old kid walks past, and bam, the retard flattens the little kid with a kick. What are your thoughts now?
Life's done that to you at 12. You could do that. You could trip other people. What are you going to discipline a retarded kid?
That's the only thing that would be worse.
So he said the second scenario was what happened to my 3-year-old son.
Oh.
The carer of the retard just said he is special. He is a special needs kid, and walked off, implying that the retard has a free pass for what he did. My wife was furious, saying, "Fuck that kid! I would have slapped him." I honestly didn't know what to do, and just comforted my little guy.
I love that. I love that you can sense his anger through the use of the carer of the retard. That's a wording.
The thing is, you can't really discipline a retarded 12-year-old. There's nothing you're gonna do. There's who's that comedian we were talking about? The insult comedian, Jay. We were talking about not insult, but he makes a lot of very dark humor.
Oh, Anthony Jeselnik?
Yeah, so he has he's like people say it's easy to make fun of retarded people, but it's hard. You know how long you have to explain the jokes to them? Which is pretty much nails it. What are you gonna go you should trip a 3-year-old. I like bananas. Yeah, but you shouldn't pick up bananas in my eye. I like putting bananas in my eye. Oh, fuck it, just trip the 3-year-old. What do you do about that? You can't really explain shit. Facebook questions, Jay?
Yeah. So
Was there?
we're the brinkofsanity@gmail.com and brinkofsanity3 on Twitter. And
What if people want to call us, Jay? What's the phone number?
631-676-1181. You could leave a voicemail. And
What if people want to show up at your home address, Jay? What is it?
just order a shirt through brinkofsanityshow.com, and for $8 you can get my address and murder me. Patreon.com/thebrinkofsanity if you want to help support the show. We are trying to meet our goal of $6 a month. We're almost there.
We are trying to meet the goal of minimum wage. We'll get there. Facebook. Rosaire writes, "What is the nasty?" By the way, our Facebook questions are horrible. Just to let you know, Rob.
Okay.
Can you just skip all the Trump and...
Oh, I'm not skipping anything. Fuck you, Jay. Rosaire writes, "What is the nastiest, most disgusting thing you've seen and smelled from a girlfriend?" I have to say the nastiest thing I smelled in a girlfriend was was diabetes. I smelled it on her.
I was going to make the Parkinson's joke, damn it.
Jason writes, "Trump is getting reelected. I will vote for him with all my friend also. How can you not unless you are on welfare or plan on bringing your immigration family from overseas or are a scared white guy cuck and don't want to be called a racist?"
See, this is why Rob edits his show.
Rob, are you a Trump supporter?
No. Am I in an unsafe space now?
No. So does that mean you're on welfare? You plan to bring your immigrant family over, or you're a scared cuck?
Scared cuck, primarily.
No, we are.
Excuse me while I jack off to the Miss America pageant.
By the way, Jay, speaking of racist, Jay, what did you think of? Jay said he recently saw Black Panther. What do you think, Jay?
I thought it was terrible.
What the fuck's wrong with you, Jay? Why don't you like black people?
Yeah, I'm sure I'll get a bunch of those next week. Rob, did you like Black Panther?
I still haven't watched it. Now I'm regretting it more than ever.
Yeah, we
way in here.
we were joking about how you can't say you didn't like Black Panther because people like what the fuck you agree you like slavery too?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was very generic. So, the new Infinity War is the only one I haven't seen now.
Okay.
I basically wait for everything to come out on demand.
I don't blame you at this point.
So I'm like 3 months behind on every movie.
Do you take your kids to see those movies?
I do, but my kids are not that into it.
My son really wants to see it, but I don't think he understands what it. Infinity War. He claims every kid in his class has seen it. So I'm like, which kids have seen it? I'll ask their parents. He's like, that ends the discussion. But I'm like, it's too. It's 2.5 fucking hours. He's gonna be bored within 12 minutes, and we're gonna have to leave the theater.
My kids are pretty good about sitting through that stuff, but I can tell like they're not enthused when they leave. And you ask them if they like it, they're like, "Yeah, it was good. All right, sure."
Yeah, you're like,
I kind of feel the same way most of the time, so I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Spending $100 taking my family to the movies.
Jason writes. Liam writes. Do you guys just say you hate Trump so you can cater to the minority? It's like white people. It's like white people have to hate Trump.
Nothing about your show screams that it would have this many Trump supporters.
I feel like it's
I don't
the
know.
same guy making 5 different accounts.
I feel like they just like I feel like whoever does this is just likes to. I think it's a troll us about Trump. It's like white people have to hate Trump for fear of being called a racist. I mean, Trump is he's a horrible president. But Jason writes, why is crypto dying so hard? Jason had $40,000 at one point. Now he has less than 20,000. So sad. Jay, by the way, Rob, Jay was really big in the crypto fad.
Really?
He started, well, not early enough, but early enough that he told us about it. He put a lot of money into it, or money for like people for like us. And it went like crazy. And Jay had made a bunch of money.
Right.
Now, not so much.
So you held too long.
Yes, it appears that way. I put in 8,500, and it went up to 29,000. And now,
Rob, would you say Jay should have sold then?
Yeah, but that's hard. I mean, as someone who is not good at that, I don't know that I can shit on him.
I mean, when it's going up like 3,000 a week, you're like, right. This isn't going to stop. It just.
Well, there's a couple of occasions also where I told Jay to sell because I'm like, you just cut your losses, and he'd sell, and then it went back, kept going up, and Jay'd be like, "What the fuck? Like your advice is terrible." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah, I bought Ethereum at 320, and for months it's hanging out between 320 and like 380. Overnight it shoots up to 525, and Mark's like, "You got to sell." I'm like, "All right, so
seem reasonable."
The very next day it goes up to 700.
Yeah,
I was not happy about that.
But Jay, 6 months later, you can buy it for 500 now.
That is true.
But so Jay actually for a little while was doing really, really well, and we thought Jay might become a crypto millionaire.
What got you onto that?
I had a coworker who took over my old position, which had a lot of downtime, and he researched crypto like 6 hours a day. So he would keep giving me tips like, "Oh, get this one." And for a while, everyone he told me about was like shooting up right away.
That's crazy.
So now I'm about even. Hopefully, it goes back up again.
Are you up? You're still up though, right, Jay? Right?
No, I'm about dead even right now.
Oh, so you're at like 8,500 now.
Yeah.
Do you think you should like cash out, or you want to keep riding?
No, because I feel like last year around late June is when everything went nuts. So I'm kind of hoping it follows that pattern.
Jay had also a pattern where he said it's the Chinese New Year. All the people in Asia, they like save, like they spend all the money on Chinese New Year, and then they start saving again or whatever it was. And every year, I've looked past the last 5 years, and it tanks right before Chinese New Year, but it's gonna go nuts after Chinese New Year. And so we were like, maybe Jay did like 12 seconds of research. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. And we're still waiting for that.
I was right about the tanking right before Chinese New Year.
Yes, it did tank before Chinese New Year, and it stayed there. Amy writes, how scared should we be of volcanoes at this moment?
If you live in Hawaii, I would say very.
Jay, are you scared of volcanoes?
I'm sure I would be if I lived anywhere near one.
I bet. Are you going to buy your house in like? You probably would buy a house in like on a volcano in Hawaii, just to make your life like that much worse.
There's no mold.
It's like inside the rim of an active volcano, but the top.
No mold, no active name,
no music.
It's so peaceful in here, and I don't have to pay for heat. Liam writes, Mark, how much paid money you paid to your religion?
This is why I don't like when Mark reads the questions.
Because I read them word for word. I went to Hebrew school, And I had a bar mitzvah, and my son will start Hebrew school next year. So basically, we were paying money to the religion through that form. I don't make charitable. I don't donate money to the religion, but I do pay for Jewish schooling.
You just did a Porky Pig where you tried to say a word and then moved on to a different word.
That's how I operate in life.
That was awesome.
I don't know how much I paid, but I do fall for the scam of giving money to religion. Are you religious, Rob?
I am not.
Cool. No, neither am I. I don't know why we're even it's one of those things where I'm like, I don't feel strongly enough about not doing it to fight with my wife about it. So we're going to do it. Yeah. Jay, but Jay is super religious. He goes to church every Sunday.
What kind of church is this?
I'm a Pastafarian. That's the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster.
I was wondering how the keto played into that.
Rosaire writes, what is the body part that has you most self-conscious? I have a big nose, so that's my thing. You guys go on.
My double chin.
I would go, as a person who is generally thin except for my gut, I would go with my gut.
Cool. So we're all going to now travel back in time to junior high and see how it goes. Liam posts a picture of something. And a picture of... Wait, he posted a picture of fruit?
We can move on from things like this.
Jason writes, biggest waste of money ever. Podcasting fees does not count, nor useless degree.
Oh.
Ooh.
Even when we get normal questions, they still like to take stabs at me. It's fine.
I'm gonna say Jay's answer for 10 years from now, the house he bought.
I bought in college. I bought $80 club pants.
What are club pants?
They had 80-inch cuffs, and they had shiny things coming out of it. They were insane pants.
I'm gonna say the $1,500 I spent on crypto so far. I'm gonna say that's really, I just written that $1,500 off. That was not a good investment.
Yeah, but it's not like you lost $1,500.
Okay, I'm down $700. It's been a wonderful investment. I don't even, where I have it on two different accounts, and I'm not even sure how to get into my other account to get the money from the last $500, which is now worth $150 of stellar lumens or whatever fucking made up name I bought.
That could be good though. In 30 years, you might remember and find out that this thing went nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. That happened to 50 Cent. He made $80 million. He got paid on. You know the 50 Cent story?
Is that the Life Water thing?
Maybe it was Life Water. Something he got. I don't think it was Life Water. Something he got paid on in crypto, and then.
Oh wow!
Apparently, it ended up being worth $50 million. That doesn't really happen to Jay and I. You got anything, Rob?
Probably my comic collection. I think there was a point where I thought that thing was going to pay off, and now I'm literally debating tossing most of it.
I'll give you some stellar lumens for your comics.
Yeah, I sold half of my comic collection, and it was so depressing how much I got for it.
How did you even sell it?
eBay.
You just pieced it off.
I would just any run. Here's 40 Captain Americas in a row, and anything like that. And then at the end, it was just a bunch of garbage that I bundled all together, bundle of Marvel garbage, and somebody somehow bought that.
Right, not even worth the effort of doing it.
Because when I was in junior high, we went to this comic store in Boston, and they would have 10 packs of comics, and they were in a big plastic sleeve, so you could only see what was on the front and back. So the front would be X-Men, and the back would be Avengers, and then it would be all
Wild Dog.
Yeah, Indie, Fool Killer, and all this random weird shit. Check
Liam writes,
comic.
Guys, do women care if you're circumcised? Have you guys ever missed your foreskin? No one's ever. Rob, are you circumcised?
I am.
Are you
I am.
to? You're gonna have to prove it on the show.
I don't plan on doing that.
I feel like you'd probably go the reverse. If you're not circumcised, maybe women would care.
That seems more likely here.
Yeah. Do you miss your foreskin? I don't.
You can't miss something you don't remember ever.
Yeah.
The one thing I'd say I'm curious about, because they say the foreskin is much more sensitive, and I would be curious once to like what the difference is. Like how that guy's curious, how you're curious to hear what your blood sounds like. I'm curious to know what the difference in feeling is.
I feel like having it be more sensitive is not a good thing.
Mm.
I'm
Like,
curious.
what if it's more
Why
sensitive
not?
and then if it's more sensitive, what if it feels so good that you last like 2 seconds?
I'm done. So what's the difference? What are you not in a long-term relationship? You holding out for a hooker? What the hell? I have to say, yeah. I mean, one of those things. I'd be very curious just to see how that felt.
Mm-hmm.
You guys aren't curious at all?
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah, sure.
Liam writes, what has been the greatest pain you felt? Jason, failing the CPA does not count.
I had a lung surgery in my senior year of high school, and the surgery itself was not. I mean, it was not pleasant, but it was whatever. But I had a catheter put in while I was awake.
Ooh.
And that was truly, truly awful.
I don't think I had anything that bad. Mine would probably be when I got my tonsils and uvula removed, and the pain medication was giving me apnea, so I basically had to go through the entire recovery on Tylenol.
Mm.
No, I remember Jay's. That was pretty bad. I don't have a good one, but I can think of. But I remember once jumping up, like trying to kind of just jump up on something. It was like it was like at a park, and I jumped up, and my shin, I just missed basically, and my shin kicked to such a degree that my shin was bleeding. It was, I don't know if you can do, just getting hit in the chin so badly that your shin starts bleeding was pretty fucking painful. Does not compare to you guys win this contest, but Eros writes,
tube up the dick takes it.
Yeah, tube up the dick takes it. Eros writes, do you guys want to get cremated or buried when you die? What do you guys want done in your funeral? And who will take over the next generation of Brink of Sanity podcasts? Rob, you can just go piss. You can just tell us that. Hello?
I guess he did.
Okay, yeah. He'll just come back.
How did you know?
He sent a message saying he had to go piss. So you guys just said, I'm going to take a piss. I'll be right back. We have a couple. Let's finish the questions. Do you want to get cremated, buried?
Cremated.
I don't care that much.
My dad
Paul
has
writes,
the best idea. My dad wants to have a parking sign that says expired.
Paul writes, what's the most bizarre thing you've seen in New York ever? Okay, Rob's back. Rob, we did not talk about you going to take a piss.
Damn it! I knew there was no real good way to go about doing that.
You could have just said it. It was fine.
Either just announce it or try and skulk off.
Yeah, what's the most bizarre thing you've seen in New York ever? And you could say, Rob, what's the most bizarre thing you've seen in Alabama?
My bizarre. Well, I could do a New York one, but it's not probably that out of the ordinary. I had been gone so I grew up in New Jersey, so we had been in and out all the time. I came back for the first time in like a decade, and I brought who is now my wife, and it was she had been when she was a kid, but she hadn't been. And as we're leaving the airport and pulled through the tunnel, come into Manhattan, and there's just a dude taking a shit just right on the sidewalk, and I'm like, all right, we're back. But you guys probably see that all the fucking time.
Yeah, that's like my morning commute.
Yeah, see that's not good.
You see a lot of that shit. What bizarre thing I've seen? I don't have anything good. Well, Jay, you got anything good?
I mean, I saw a subway seat covered in blood and a dirty tampon.
Oh God.
Jay gets this point. Where's there right?
It just raises so many questions.
Do we have to explore this topic, Jay?
No. we don't
Rosera writes, the most scary fighting thing you have ever been told, Jason. What's the most scary, frightening thing you've ever been told, Jason? You did not pass the CPA again. Is ruled out due to extreme repetitiveness. Just asking the questions to pile on. What's the scariest thing you've ever been told? Can it be Trump won the election?
Okay, so when freshman year of college, my roommate and I got jumped, and I got punched once, but it was with a ring, and it gave me a hairline fracture, like where my eye socket is, and so I got an X-ray, and like it's a hairline fracture, heal on its own, that's fine. I'm like, okay, good, and like, but when you get older, it could open up again, your eye can fall inside.
Oh, Jesus.
Holy shit. Fall inside?
That's awful.
And I'm like, well, that's going to make me... that was probably the start of me having anxiety problems.
Would you rather your eye fall in or out?
I feel like out would be easier to fix.
I'm not a medical professional, so I don't know which is easier to fix. Either would be really gross, but I feel like I don't want the guy to have to first find the ball in my...
Can you see when it falls in, do you think?
I guess it's still attached, I would think so.
Is it like being in the dark place? Like it's just slowly falling out?
Jay, can you figure out how to do the video streaming for the show so when the eye falls out, it happens on the show? The greatest podcast moment ever. Holy shit. Bobby writes, let's make a prop bet. Which is a greater chance of actually happening? Trump getting impeached in the first term or Trump getting reelected? It's reelected.
I would have bet my house that was going to end with or Jay passing the CPA.
Yeah, Jay. So which Jay, Trump gets reelected or do you pass the CPA, Jay? What do you got?
I would put almost even odds on both of those. Joking aside, I feel like he is probably going to get reelected.
I'm pretty convinced. Yeah.
Fine, I know.
Jason writes, being as both of you are pale, have you guys ever gotten, Rob, just to let you know, insider information for the show, Jay and I are pale. Have you guys ever got sunburned? I'm as white as Jason and went to a museum, walked for just 2 hours and got home to a minor shoulder burn. 2 hours, that's it. How do you guys protect yourself from it? And what brand of sunscreen you use?
Wait, he was in a museum?
I don't know. I went to the museum walk.
Just seems like
a lot of these words from our listeners are out of order, so he probably walked to the museum.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. What. Apparently, our show appeals to people whose English if English is your eighth language, then it appeals. I get burned. My skin is. I have to wear at least 30 sun. I have to always wear sunblock. I was in Australia where they don't have an ozone layer, so the sun's extra strong. I put lotion everywhere. All I missed was between where my hair starts and my forehead, just a little gap.
Oh.
I had a 2nd-degree burn on my forehead with literally it was puffing up of
Oh, that sucks.
It was awful. And my toes got 2nd-degree burns. I just missed my getting sun on my sunscreen on my toes.
That's why you gotta leave that hair there.
Yeah, I gotta get a fucking
buffer.
Yeah.
I went to Florida with Bri, and I got sun poisoning in 3 hours. So,
jeez.
Yeah.
Did you have stuff on?
I did. It was kind of like Marc, where you could tell the spots I missed and the spots I didn't.
You should write something on you, write your name, outline your name basically in lotion.
I'll write CPA on my forehead.
It would look kind of cool. Liam writes, guys, I was walking through Brooklyn Heights the other day. Yes, the beautiful multi-million-dollar brownstones area, and noticed these paintings on the sidewalk. They were big with heavy frames. I took them. Do you guys recognize any of them? I know one is a building in Paris and it's autographed. Okay, we're going to move on from the question that involves us recognizing paintings. Eros writes, Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain committed suicide this week. What the fuck is up with these rich white people killing themselves? How when you have all their money? Steven and Jason, the ball is on your court now. I just hope you live stream it when it happens. Steven's a fan of the show, which who people think might off himself.
That got dark.
Yeah, that's a pretty dark. What do you guys think about this Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain thing?
I didn't even know who Kate Spade was.
You never heard of Kate Spade purses?
No.
They're like a pretty popular, not that like just popular brand.
I was surprised with Bourdain. He seemed to have like an amazing life.
NPR has a podcast about like entrepreneurs. It's called How I Built This. And Kate Spade was on the show talking about how she built this multi-million-dollar empire of women's purses. And I just listened to it like pretty recently. And I was like, oh, she sounded pretty like, she sounded like she had a great life on the show. I mean, obviously it's the show, but Bourdain seemed like he had a great life. I mean, obviously people were horribly depressed.
This is such a depressing question, but that's what's so depressing. It's just like, if that is not enough to get you over that hump, then fuck that's awful.
Yeah.
Jay, does it make you feel better about your life that you don't have all the success of these people, but you have the will to live? Like, you've beaten them.
Yeah, small victories, right?
Yeah.
Are you afraid that if you pass the CPA exam that you will kill yourself?
No.
Have you thought about going to Kate Spade's funeral and spiking a football and being like, I win, bitch? We're almost done with questions. Paul writes, hey, Mark, where can you see yourself in 5 years? Bitcoin entrepreneur? Being Jay's therapist? Only joking, Jay. We love you. Or New York mayor? LOL. Where can I see myself in 5 years? I'm going to say battling tiny ants in this room doing podcasts with Jay, hopefully. That's where I see myself in 5 years. That sound good to you, Jay?
Sure. When are we starting by then? Like 11 p.m.?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't know. my kids will probably be on the show at that point if we're still doing it. I don't know where I see myself for 5 years. I don't have a 5-year plan. Rob, do you have a 5-year plan?
I'm old enough now that I'm pretty locked in at this point. It would be very mundane.
Yeah, my 5-year plan just didn't happen, or I don't know what it was, but here's where I am, and I'm kind of my 5-year plan is that I have my kids get 5 years older and not fuck things up till then. Jay, what's your 5-year plan?
Pass CPA, get a new job, have a kid, move into a house. I got a lot of things going on.
Got a lot of things.
Basically everything you guys did like 10 years ago.
You want to do an ultra marathon while you're at it?
Yeah, why not?
Eat pasta.
Yeah, I want to eat pasta. I really want the sugar.
I just go give up on the fucking diet. Just find something. Why don't you just exercise? You'll lose the weight exercising.
I am exercising. I went to the gym 3 times this week.
Okay. I mean, this diet sounds like torturesome.
I just wanted to jumpstart the diet. I wanted to lose 10 quick pounds and then go from there.
You're not worried that like 2 weeks from now when you go off it, you'll just gain the weight right back?
Well, that's why I'm upping the trips to the gym. I was going twice a week. By the time I'm off this diet, I hope to be going 4 times a week.
Okay.
So I figured.
What do you do at the gym?
I'm doing 24 minutes on the elliptical, and then I do a few different weight machines each time.
Gyms are. I can't imagine going to a gym where you guys live.
Why?
It seems terrifying.
I go to Planet Fitness and it's like $10 a month, so it's actually
I do the
insanely
same
reasonable.
thing. And in the morning, Planet Fitness is like completely empty. So
Okay, yeah, I didn't mean like the price as much as just like the. Like New York seems like a particularly intimidating place to go to the gym.
The crowd that goes to Planet Fitness is the crowd you'd be very comfortable with at the gym.
Okay.
It's a bunch of
people.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people like me and Mark.
Part of the features of Planet Fitness is they give out like free bagels and free pizza once a month.
Oh.
And this crowd probably indulges in that. It's part of like the I'm in.
I'm just here for the bagels.
Yeah, there's not like it's definitely not an intimidating place to go.
This Tuesday is Bagel Tuesday at the gym, and I'm on the no carb diet. Son of a bitch.
Jason writes, "Do you guys still pay for cable? Seems like such a waste." And Steven also responds, goes, "Why would anyone pay to watch commercials? You can watch NBA trash online."
Yeah, I still pay for cable.
I do too.
If we didn't
Rob?
have the Knicks podcast, I probably wouldn't.
We have not had cable. We have just passed 10 years of not having cable.
Oh,
10 years. You're an early adopter. Or
We were pretty early. Yeah.
So what do you watch, or how do you watch?
Well, I mean, I have PlayStation View now, so like we had some real dark years, like the first 5 years. But like PS View, I get all the ESPN channels, which is enough sports, to cover me for the most part. And like it logs you into almost all the cable networks, so I don't feel like I miss that much. Obviously college football is really big here, and that's the only thing that becomes a problem.
But you could get like an antenna, not the equivalent of the antenna for like.
We could not to get overly specific, but we're like on the opposite side of a mountain, so we're in a real shitty area for getting over the antenna stuff. What
was gonna say what do you pay a month like for like I imagine you pay for internet?
That's the thing. We have internet, we have PS View, Netflix, and HBO Go. So I'm basically paying for fucking cable anyway.
Yeah, like that's the thing I figured out is like it's like you're still paying. Internet's going to be more expensive probably when you don't bundle it. I don't know if it's not or not. And then you have to pay for all these extra channels. And the thing that kills me, the thing that gets me really is that the two things I like to watch the most, unfortunately for myself, are the Knicks and the Mets. And both of them are on special channels where you have to be locked to the cable to really watch them.
I mean, that'll change at some point, but by the time that changes, you'll be getting fucked on the other end. I mean, none of us are going to win this battle. Like that, it's designed for that to not happen.
I almost think it's worse this way because like everything's gone a la carte, so now you still like
you get
I'm
less.
paying for cable, and I have to pay for Netflix, and if the show's on Hulu I want to watch, I have to pay for that.
Yep.
I started watching the Cobra Kai, the new show on YouTube.
I do kind of want to see that.
And the first two episodes were pretty decent. Like I would totally, it just seems entertaining. I would watch the whole show, and I'm like, I'm gonna pay for another fucking channel. I think what I might just do is sign up for the first free month and just cancel, which I'm sure 90% of people are gonna do for that show. But yeah. Paul writes, last question. Will Trump put America in jeopardy by making friends with North Korea? So he's meeting with North Korea on the 14th, which is coming up pretty soon. What do you think? How's that going to go?
I don't really care.
You don't care what happens, like for when they start, they the first event for World War III, you're not going to care about?
No. No.
I'm a little concerned. I mean, like you're just like I don't care because either way, nothing's going to work out in my favor.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything's really going to come from it. He's not going to start a war. It's like, and I don't think North Korea is going to do anything to us. So,
I think what's going to happen is after the meeting, Trump's going to say overly complimentary things about Kim Jong-un or whatever the Kim Jong-un is. People will be like, "What the fuck? You're complimenting like a horrible dictator," and he'll just keep doing that. And then Kim Jong-un will say something, and then he'll call him weak and a coward, and then they'll go back and forth on Twitter, and that'll be the end of it.
That's almost the definite outcome.
Yeah. Okay, that is all our questions for today. Jay, you got anything else?
No, I don't.
Hey, can I ask before we go? Can I ask a curiosity question of you guys?
Yeah,
please.
As two Knick fans, what are you hoping for this off season?
The NBA to fold.
I mean, I would like our first summer without doing anything completely embarrassing. Cantor opting out of his contract would be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be good.
That would make me very happy. That frees up money for a guy you don't want anyway. Like Cantor opts out, Noah decides he needs to retire,
and
he has no reason to do that, right?
No reason.
No incentive.
No.
He's getting
18 million
34 million.
What a disaster! That's the worst. Yeah,
horrible.
Is there anybody you want them to draft?
Bridges sounds good, Mikal Bridges, but not that I know that well. I don't follow college basketball all that closely. Just like everything I've heard about him, he seems like a good fit for the Knicks. Mm-hmm. But who the fuck knows?
Yeah, all I want is for them to nail the draft pick, whoever it is.
Yeah, nail the draft pick, and they can't really sign. They don't have much space to sign anyone, so just don't find some way to sign some dumbass
contract.
Yeah, like so. Someone was saying to me today, they're like, who is the Knicks going to sign? Like, are the Knicks going to not when if the Knicks don't have cap space, how are they going to get free agents? And I was like, listen, it doesn't matter if we have cap space or not. We're not getting free agents. No one wants to come here when your team is shit. You have to have a good team before anyone wants to come here. It's like when we had cap space before a while back, and the team was shit. We signed Amari to a giant deal, and we fucked ourselves. Then we signed Noah to a giant deal that fucked ourselves. We're gonna sign bad deals when you're a bad team trying to like make yourself good.
It sucks that by the time everything clears up, if your stupid ownership doesn't fuck up before then, I mean, Porzingis is never gonna have a good time in New York, is he?
Yeah.
Is it even possible?
He's also spending all his time shooting like a documentary about his comeback, which
I didn't know that.
I'm like, don't fucking do a documentary about your comeback, asshole. Just fucking concentrate on the comeback. Get off fucking social media, asshole.
Amari did the same thing.
Yeah, and that worked out real well. Amari was a fucking joke when he came back, and it makes me so pessimistic for Porzingis' comeback. Like, you're doing these fucking workout videos and like posting things online. It's not good. Just come back and be good. That's what the only thing fucking matters. Not your fucking documentary you're doing to like be a social media star.
Rob, are you still reading comics?
Not really. Every once in a while, but not in any way that I could credibly say I am.
'Cause I'm reading along with your show, and I'm up to like episode 123, and I don't know what the fuck is going on. Well, I started off with the from X-Men #1 in the 60s, so I was listening to your show until I got up to like 149, and then I caught up to your On Shelves Now, so I started over. So now I'm on 123. But the where it is now in Marvel, I was reading one of the crossovers. There's a female Loki, a female Red Skull, and a female Ghost Rider. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I remember that face. Why not?
You're reading Ocean's 8?
Yeah, pretty much. And nobody's questioning it. Like,
no.
Ghost Rider shows up to save the day, and one of the X-Men's like, "You're shorter than I remember." They don't mention like you have breasts and you have
tits. Yeah. That's another problem with doing a podcast on something like that. Like, this is where you guys are lucky, where you can. Well, I guess not with the Knicks. God help you on that one. But
God, we got a 1-star review because we didn't like the Derrick Rose signing. So.
But
what if Porzingis comes back and he's a chick with tits? Porzingis, you're a little shorter and you're kind of hot now.
But like having to, you look back on stuff like that and you're like, oh my God, I was definitely mustering up some fucking, and we were pretty negative in the first place, but you have no choice but to at least find the good in some of that kind of shit. And it's been bad for so long. I mean, all of that's been bad for forever.
Yeah, I'm really like struggling with like, I don't know, 6 out of the 8 books that are out now. It's,
it's and that's only going to get worse.
What's your current favorite comic? Like if someone said to you, like, I want to read something really good that's been out pretty recent. Or that's something that's
the thing. I don't. It's barely even recent anymore. Like I really liked Alex and Ada, which was an indie thing about. It's basically the same story they did with Vision in Marvel, like robots with. It's Westworld in a lot of ways. I did like Saga, even though that's like the fucking most cliche answer in the world.
I'm liking Saga.
I thought it was great. That tends to be the wheelhouse of the stuff I like is indie stuff that everyone tells me is good enough that I should bother to pick up and read.
You know, I asked the question, and I have to say everything you said in your answer, I don't know if you're making names up or is this real. I know nothing about comics whatsoever. I'm not sure why I even asked the question. I'm sorry. I was curious what you're gonna say, but like everything you're like Vision in Marvel. I'm like, I know the word Marvel. I don't know what the fuck else you're talking about.
I was wondering. I remember the last time I was on, you being very not pleased when me and Jay got in on comics. So I was wondering
I'm trying to be nice about it, but I have no idea. I don't know.
I'm not like that's the thing. Like, despite where I'm coming from. For being on this show, like I am at this point, like to call me a comic collector would be wrong. I mean, I just don't read comics.
I'm collecting 3 comics now, and I'm like,
what are the 3?
I'm finding X-Men by other means, but I'm still collecting Walking Dead, which I'm still loving, but I'm like two trades behind.
Jay came to me. Jay at one point was like, "You have to read the first book of Walking Dead. You have to read it." And like one day he just showed up, like he gave it to me, forced me to take it home with me, and it sat on my bookshelf for a year. Then he was like rereading it. He had to get it back. He come back and get it to me. Get it. He's like, "Have you opened this?" I'm like, "No." It's just been sitting there the whole year.
The early Walking Deads are pretty amazing, I will say. I'm still reading it, but I don't love it as much as I used to. It does, much like the show, feel like it's just sort of spinning its wheels after a while, but it's still good for sure.
When did you stop doing the show, by the way? How long's it been?
I should have stopped earlier. I think I made it through season 7.
Oh no, sorry, I meant through your podcast. But
our show.
I agree. The Walking Dead show is terrible. I made it through maybe. I forget where I looked. Somewhere at like 5 or 6, I gave up the show.
The Walking Dead show is like the master of, we're going to feed you 8 episodes that are complete garbage and then give you one that makes you stick around another 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Like, they had that fucking mastered in a way that is just cruel.
Season 2 was the ultimate, like, looking for that lost girl. The whole season was such a fucking terrible.
Oh my God, that was awful.
And then the last 2 episodes were so good, you're like, I'm in!
Yep.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, they killed that.
Yeah.
Podcasts pretty much the past 2 years have been non-existent.
Okay.
There's been one episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you do like once in a while, once every?
Like one, it's like once a year at this point, and even that's questionable.
Yeah.
There's like a momentum to it. You guys know.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
If you take a month off, your brain starts going like, "Huh, it's kind of nice not doing this." Like it really does not take much.
Back to that. Saga and Invader Zim are the other 2 I'm reading.
Invader what?
Invader Zim.
That cartoon?
Yeah. The comic starts like right where the cartoon ended, and it's by the guy who wrote the show, so it's really funny.
Yeah, Jay also likes the most random like cartoons shows, like adult cartoons that no one's ever fucking heard of. But one of them was Invader Zim, and it actually was kind of funny.
I definitely just missed that window. Like I don't like Cartoon Network stuff, all that kind of. I know nothing.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's super super dark. It's like an alien race that sends one to every planet to try and take it over, and Zim is the one that comes to Earth.
It was funny. Like we did like a top 5 episode of different things, and one of them was like top 5 cartoons of all time. And like I'm naming like Simpsons, Family Guy. Jay's naming the most obscure things.
No one's heard of them.
Invader Zim, Deltoid. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Jay?
3 South, I think, was one of them.
That might have. Is that the one? Whatever. We don't need to talk about it now. But yeah. Yeah. So Rob, anything you want to promote today? Like
no, just promote that lady that can smell Parkinson's. She deserves it.
I'll be having the lady that smells Parkinson's on at my show, and then in 9 to 15 years from now when I do the next episode. I hope that lady that smells Parkinson like makes like a lot of money off of that. That's cool. That's a pretty decent superhero power.
It's gotta be sad too, though. Like you're fucking checking out at Publix, and you're like, oh, like do you say something? Do you like you've got Parkinson's, or do you just let it go?
That's a good question.
Yeah, you're left with like that.
I think
moral dilemma all the time.
Yeah, I think you just let it go. Where you put it on Craigslist, missed connections. I was at Target. You had Parkinson's.
It's awful.
Can you imagine like at the supermarket? You're like, thanks for helping me with my groceries, like the checkout, but I have this power and you have Parkinson. I'm sorry, what? I smell Parkinson's and you have it. The fuck are you talking about? No, I've been certified. I can smell discussion.
It would be creepy.
No, I smell. Hang on, but just to make sure, can I smell the inside of your thigh? So I can know for sure.
And on that note,
no, I am not. I am not a pedophile. I was just trying to smell if your kid had Parkinson's. I swear. Okay, now we're done.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back in like 3 months.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you.